Hi, Twin Flames. I hope you're all doing well. If you've been following along on my journey of reading up on the subtler phases of the moon, such as the waning crescent moon, like we'll be covering today, and would like the chance to jump into, since that's what we'll subtly be doing, including ourselves into its unconditional current before it officially leaves you tomorrow, the 29th. To help and soothe your twin flame minds, just like this particular moon is supposed to provide, let's quickly go over the nature and characteristics of the helpful waning crescent moon to prepare for this quick one card reading experience. The waning crescent moon is a time for surrender, rest, and renewal, and it's also here to help us deepen within ourselves in order to understand and get to know ourselves on a more personal soul, consciousness, and emotional level than before, benefiting our overall twin flame union and its health as a natural domino effect, of course. Just like always, whenever we solely work on ourselves seriously, when intending, it can often be even stronger, the effects of the healing for your union, when it tapped into the current at play, which I'm going to ask we receive help with achieving subtly in the background over these next 6 or so days. All of these things mentioned, that is prolonged to us for our access at its usual pacing. This is a very important part of life to be integrating. This ability to take care of yourself in this unconditionally loving, yet selfless way. If you are a deep souled, deep hearted twin flame on the journey of finding salvation, eternal life, fulfillment in yourself, can't forget about that, through the portal, current, and channel of pure passion, authenticity, higher relationship, and authenticity through higher relationship. Before you officially passed the Twin Flame Ascension process, your soul became bound and swept into, upon coming into some form of alchemical contact with your twin at some point in your current lifetime. Which is what the Twin Flame dynamic is all about, truly. No opinions about it. So you bet we are going to take the chance to capitalize on this opportunity of focused healing and support from an intergalactic system that actually provides it while we can, and even completely redirect to this station or tune if your energy body were out of frequency with it, with yourself, with nature, with this nature, although often foreign, for a time. I am also feeling that there are opportunities to receive influxes of light, sort of in this infusion or alchemical type of way, straight from the waning crescent moon in quantum time, deriving from earlier timelines and realities that we've long forgotten about within this current exact life sequence, which will surely do its part to bring you back home, further to simpler times, back to your soul, back to your twin, perhaps, back to the true importance of the matter, and leaving you scratching your head and asking yourself, where the hell have I been all this time? By the end of the integration and sort of time traveling experience you undergo from its little adventure plan, potentially even making you break down to your knees from the deep emotional return and remembrance of these forgotten aspects of life, yourself, life itself, and your childhood, all flying back into your consciousness at speed of light. So, I'm definitely going to request that we receive this all throughout our little week with it here, even programming it in now to continue this natural structure on autopilot all on its own without help whenever it feels like, about 6 times out of the 12-month year cycle, I'm being told. It even working and deciding to heal, rejuvenate, and uplift our twin flame spirits and inspiration channels when it doesn't necessarily have to on a twin flame focused base, while steepening our hearts into new waterfalls and upgrading our mind, perspective, and behavior patterns to a higher, more conscious, mature, yet still youthful and playful level in the process. To continue more practically, the waning crescent stage is the phase that occurs just before the new moon sets in and appears as a thin crescent winding downwards daily until it is practically completely invisible to the naked eye. Hence the name waning, which I liken to winding, with the illuminating side always pointing east. Each morning, it rises closer to the sunrise and shows less of its illuminated portion. Fun facts, I know. Now that we've integrated that worded explanation of what the waning crescent moon is, and even got to learn some pretty valuable pieces of information along the way that we can suit for our journeys, we should be good to go ahead and get into the mini reading. So let's do it. To receive the enlightenment we need from the sacrificing moon this month is here to thrust us into the world we are supposed to be in. Its main goal and focus as a separate conscious entity this month, as a solo satellite, is the major arcana lovers. It already wanting to send us into another dimension. Finally tying the knot are the close-knit words I felt, rather than heard, showing off from the card. Represented so obviously, yet focusedly, by the pair seen tied together in the image. With the feel of the most celestial, new celestial activation, ringing forth from this by spoken, coming from the spaces of forgotten light and life, surrounding them swirling around, in an alchemical star sequence fashion, to ignite their activations, persuade their consciousness, hit their chakra systems, bells, and pressure points, to immerse them back into the life they had before being swept up to conquer demons, so it can then alchemically and intelligently merge them into the new life, the real new life, in open spaces their hearts truly belong to and have just been dying to see and take on again. And this is why we're young, remember? The most professional makeovers of our lives is the final message I got from the tarot card's ear, constructed and handled and delivered right by the waning crescent moon at our liege, for it knows the best services and connections to see this through straight. And this will sew us up back together from the root of our torso and up into the spine of our hearts, making sure that Mars is put to rest, all the Martians, the old milk, the old weight in general, so the new turf and terrain can burst forth from the cracks of our bodies. The earth not being left out of this either. And from this there shall form new rock. And that sets off this month's reading on the subtle phases of the moon, relying on the waning crescent moon to help us get to know it better, ourselves, in the world we forsake to look by the other way. And now we are close. Subscribe if you feel you receive a lot from these videos of mine. Comment down below if you have any questions, or would love to chat about what you've gathered here today. Donate to my PayPal if you feel you love to commune and say thanks, and I'll be back here with more enlightening videos for the Twin Flame Ascension Collective in the future. Bye now.